Sure. Well, my name's Christian Parker. I'm a country music artist. I would say I kind of lean in the country rock direction. Born and raised in Fort Smith, Arkansas. I'm a second year, about to be a third year law student at Baylor Law School in addition to all of that. So I've been playing music since I was little. My mom started me playing piano when I was really young, about second grade, moved to guitar to fourth grade. Actually played tuba for a while, from seventh grade through my sophomore year of college. I was a band nerd. I marched in the band. And as a lot of us, obviously, when the pandemic struck, we suddenly found ourselves with a lot of time on our hand. And I've always had bands, played in bands. I had my first rock band in ninth grade. It was called the Pimpin' Purple Pigeons from the planet Lovetron 9. We had a song that went, "We're the pimpin' purple pigeons from the planet Lovetron, and we hope you'd sing along." It was fun. We, but I've always written music, played music, had bands, and when 2020, the pandemic struck, we had a lot of time on our hands, and I said, let's actually go and start recording and do this. And through wonderful family, friends, we got us connected with a fantastic producer named Sal Oliveri, and he's a fantastic guy. He's done Stapleton, he's done Pink, he does Lee Brice. I mean, he's got fantastic resume, if you will, number one songs. Got connected with him, and in some sense, the rest is history. We recorded 2 albums together, and then of course we began to know each other through the concert that we did this summer back in August at the Majestic in Fort Smith.
That's awesome. All right, talk to me a little bit about, because you're not just a musician and perform, but you write your own songs.
I write some of the songs, yes.
So give me just a little bit of, why did you decide, you learned piano, tuba, guitar, all these
Sure.
things. Let's add songwriting to the mix as well.
I think songwriting is just the natural extension of that, in the sense that you think about things, you're a human, you have emotions, you have thoughts, and if you're already playing instruments, hey, I'm going through this feeling, I'm thinking about this, and so you just put it down into words, and the words in some sense will become poetic, and you add music to it, and it becomes a whole thing. I never thought about it as I'm setting out to, I have to write this song. It's I'm not a guy that when I go to write a song, it happens very quickly. I'm thinking about something gets stuck in my head, a little phrase comes around. I've really been thinking about this concept, this idea, and it comes out. For example, I think if you think about the song "The Race," which is a song that so far is the best performing one that I've on Spotify, it's a very introspective song, and it came about as a thinking about life. I'm not being precise with my words. It's really a question. The whole song deals with, what are you willing to give up to go where you want to go? But when you make that decision, there's obviously a natural consequence. To pursue one thing, you must give up another. And it's a song talking about what you leave behind in pursuit of it. And the metaphor of the race, it's the rat race. You're running the race. And that's what that song's about. Sorry, it's a long-winded answer to your question.
No, I love it. It reminds me of a Henry David Thoreau quote. He says, "The cost of a thing is what I will call life, which is given in exchange for it."
Wow, that's a beautiful quote.
And but that reminds me of that exact same concept.
Yeah.
Everything costs something. You give up one thing to do another.
Exactly.
But I think conceptually, the way that the mind works, like you said,
Sure.
when you kind of have these things, and it can kind of quickly come out. And other people, I guess take days or weeks or
Sure.
months to write songs.
Absolutely.
But when you are on stage, there's sort of different components that happen. There's, you have to be a musician.
Yes.
You got to actually play the right notes.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
guitar.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be a performer. You got to make people want
Yes.
to engage. But then I think the way we got to witness you is you're also a storyteller. There's the moments between songs. What stands out to you when you're on stage as kind of the favorite part? Or does it all form as one entity and you like to do it all?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I think In some sense, it's all one entity, but when you're on stage, man, that's what it's about. I mean, I like playing, I like writing the songs, I like recording it, but ultimately, I think at my core, I'm an entertainer. And I think anybody that knows me will tell you, like, Christian, he's an entertainer. He likes to make people laugh. He likes to do stuff like that. But you have to understand, I think when we were recording the first album, Debutante, with Sal Oliveri, I mentioned him previously, my producer, he said he would stop me, and we were going through vocals, and he goes, "Stop. Be the song. Who is singing the song?" And I didn't think about, to some degree, with music, as much as we all want to think, oh, this is this person, this is who they are. There's a degree of acting that comes with that, and you have to convince people that what you're singing is who you are, and there is a kernel of you that's true about that, because that's obviously why you're drawn to that song. But when you get on stage, that's magnified. You have to convince people that what you're doing is legitimate. You are that song. You are embodying that, and you're 100% right. There's a technical component of playing music. Am I hitting the right notes? Am I in time? Are we all gelling together? Is that all making sense? And you have to have that as a foundational aspect. But the second part of that is something that only becomes taught with experience, and that is you have to go play shows. You have to connect with people, and there's a human aspect of that. And some people, it comes more natural for them. Others people, you have to work at it. I know certainly with stage presence, I think I have to work at that. I know, because you all have been spending hours editing the concert together. You probably have seen that. But I think that it all meshes together in some organic form. You don't want it to come off as unnatural or inorganic. So
No,
I don't know if that satisfactorily
that's
answers your
exactly
question
what-
or not.
You're right. Music elicits emotion.
It does.
Essentially, that's why we listen to music. We
Exactly.
want to feel something somewhere, whether it's high upbeat energy stuff or low beat kind of down chill stuff. We want to feel something. We want
Exactly.
to take it somewhere. But it takes the performer to get us there. Right?
Yeah.
Without that emotion coming from someone,
Sure.
we're never going to get there.
Sure.
So I love that. I think that's absolutely true. All right. Law school, how did you end up deciding, you know what, I love this music thing, I want to pursue this music thing, but
Yeah.
I also want to pursue law? I mean, how do you balance that?
Sure. Well, my grandfather was an attorney. My father was an attorney. And I guess I'll be the third generation Parker lawyer. The answer to that is I was always, growing up, it was never a question, are you going to get your law degree or not? It was just, you're going to get your law degree. And growing up, it was kind of fed into me, imbued into my senses that the importance of a legal education, even if you never practice law, don't show this to my law professors, but in some sense, I hope I never practice law. But don't tell them that, because they'll get really mad at me. So it'll probably come out. Anyway, they'll find out anyway. Hi. I think the value of a law degree shows that you're able to comprehend, understand, demonstrates, comprehension, the ability to process information in a logical, reasonable way. And in some sense, I don't think that's divorced from music either. I mean, there is an inherent logic to music that makes sense, some sort of ethereal human nature aspect. But words go together, and law is as much a study of words and how things interact and processes come together. There's a mechanical nature of that, which we've already discussed in terms of the mechanical nature of music intertwining, but there's also a human reason aspect of that, which also flows naturally into music as well, I think. I don't think they're divorced from one another, but the answer more specifically is growing up, I was always going to get a law degree, and when it came time to apply to law schools, I looked at, hey, if you're going to go to law school, you got to go learn how to be a good trial attorney. The best place to learn how to be a trial attorney is Baylor Law, #1 litigation school in America. They make the best trial lawyers in America, and heck, if at the end of all of this, the music doesn't work out, I'll go be a trial lawyer. And I'll have learned it from the best at Baylor Law. Please sponsor me. Please give me a little reduction in tuition. Would be great. Thanks. Sick 'em.
I love that. Oh man, that's good. If that doesn't end up on the Baylor Law social media, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
But it's just, what did somebody say? Every time somebody asks you a question, you enter into a contract or something like that. Like, basically everything is a contract and a negotiation. And so why not have that skill set?
Sure.
That you do? And then you can represent yourself too. If music becomes a profession, you got to have an agent, you got to have a manager.
Exactly.
All these things. All they're doing is looking out for your best interest. Now you can do that for yourself.
Exactly. I'll be my own fiduciary. I'll be a pro se. I'll represent myself pro se. A lyrical litigator. That's what I'll be. Maybe that's going to be the next album name. The Lyrical Litigator. That'd be pretty exciting. I'm going to write a song about promissory estoppel. There's going to be like 2 people that think that joke is really funny.
That's amazing. All right, so what is next for you in the music side of things? What's next?
Yeah.
Going? What are you excited about?
All right. Well, that's a great question. I've been speaking to my producer. We've done the first 2 albums, and so the logical step is to do a 3rd album. And with the 3rd album, I really want to take some time and step back and evaluate what has worked with the first 2 albums. What songs did you feel comfortable on? What songs do you think you naturally resonated to? What songs do you think you did well on? Why did you do well on those? And so it's going to take a little bit of analysis, and we're going to see when the 2nd album fully drops how things go. But I think for the 3rd album, I really want to lean more into the rock side. Growing up, I was always a rock guy. I really didn't get in hardcore to country until I moved to Texas when I was at SMU in undergrad. And we listened to country growing up to an extent, but really it was rock that was in the house. And I still consider myself a country artist, and I will always be a country artist. But I really want to explore more of that southern rock sound that was present on the first album, not as much on the 2nd album. And I think that'll be interesting. But first, I'm going to finish law school. I'll be a 3L starting in a few weeks, and so I'm going to finish law school, get my law degree, pass the bar. But in the meantime, maybe this summer, begin work on that 3rd album, and then after that, tour, promote it, run the gambit. Got to do it.
Is there a place that you're looking forward most to playing, of all venues out there that, one day you hope you get to play what?
Well, I think if you're a country artist and you don't say the Grand Ole Opry, you're probably screwing up. You're probably failing your duties there. But a venue that I think would be fantastic to play, well, 2. I've never seen a concert there. I've only seen video of it. I would love to play Red Rocks. I think that's such a cool venue. And then just for my own personal satisfaction, one day, it'll probably never happen, but man, if I could play Jerry's World in Dallas, Texas. I love the Dallas Cowboys. I love Jerry Jones. He's a great Arkansan here from Little Rock. If I could play Jerry's World, man, that would be really cool because it would combine both, the Arkansan with the Dallas Cowboys, my favorite NFL team, and the music. And I went to school in Dallas. I feel very connected to Dallas in some sense. Man, that would be really cool. But Grand Ole Opry, obviously. I think Red Rocks is just such a cool vibe. I would love to play there. And then AT&T Stadium. Yeah, let's go for that.
Not to mention, it is a gigantic
Yes.
arena or a stadium.
Yes.
To fill it with 8,000
Yes.
people
Yeah.
would be pretty incredible.
I imagine the pecuniary gain on that would be pretty exciting.
All right, so what would you say to the people who take the time out of their day to click on your name on Spotify, listen to the music, and then share it with their friends? What do you have to say to the people who have become fans?
Thank you. I'm a kid from Fort Smith, Arkansas. To take time out of your day to listen to my music when there are hundreds of thousands of artists that you could be listening to. It means a lot to me, and I hope that while you're listening, you enjoy it, you get something out of it. It's fun to make, and it's a privilege to be able to make music, and an honor to have people listen to it. So thank you so much.
I love it. That's great.